Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak for October 14th, 2020. And today is Emergency Nurses Day. As you know, every hospital has an emergency room. And if you have trouble breathing or if you're feeling chest pain, you should go directly to the emergency room. If you go to pooping and then you see blood in your poop, you should probably go to emergency room and they'll check things out for you. Um, because all emergency go to emergency room, in the era of COVID-19, it may be the most dangerous job, emergency room nurses, followed by ICU room nurses. So, things are getting bad. Obviously, it's going to get much worse in November, and it's going to be much worse in December, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse until next June or May. Um, yeah, so a lot of emergency room nurses will probably get COVID 19 treating emergency patients, and some of them will die. As you know, I'm predicting that at least 10,000 nurses will die by Christmas 2020 in the United States of America, and many of them will be emergency room nurses. Some of them will be ICU nurses. Um, Out of the 25 who graduated from Georgetown University School of Nursing Health Studies Master's Program in Clinical Nurse Leader, um, there weren't that many people who wanted to become emergency nurses. Um, Even before COVID, but certainly after COVID, it's one, two, maybe three people. Um, whoever will be working in the emergency room for the next 6 months of flu season probably has a fairly high chance of dying from COVID or getting COVID, certainly. As Israelis say, kol kavod, more power to you. But, maybe that power may not be enough to save you from COVID-19 death. It's global pandemic. There are 25 CNL 2020 core members at Georgetown University who graduated with me. Well, we all graduated together, 25 of us. So 24 plus me in August 2020. And I'm predicting that at least five of us will die by Christmas 2020. It's COVID-19, it's the flu season, 6 months long. It's a half a year long flu season, basically from beginning to end. Um, a lot of people are going to die. I'm predicting over 3 million American citizens will die in the next 6 months. A number seems to indicate that that's going to happen. As you know, even if you had COVID-19 in April, you could get it again in October and die from it. Certainly, you could get it again in November. As time passes, there's more opportunity for you to get it, even if you had COVID-19 in April and survived it. So a lot of people in New York who had COVID in April will get COVID again and die. Now that's to be expected, especially around probably January, February, and March. We're going to see a lot of reinfections ending up in death, unfortunately, all over the world. And you see Europe spiking up right now. Things are getting bad. But as I said, I'm predicting that at least five out of 25 of us who graduated from Clinical Nurse Leader Master's Program at Georgetown University in May, not May, we're pinned in May, but in August 2020 will die by Christmas 2020. That's a couple months from now. So I want to do a cheer for our core members. CNL 2020. Yay, we graduated from Masters in Clinical Nurse Leader Program at Georgetown. 25 of us. 5 of us may die before Christmas, but at least you can write in your tombstone, you have a Master's in Clinical Nurse Leader from Georgetown University. Yay! Some people, think for days to find something to put on their grave tombstone, but at least you could put Georgetown CNL 2020, you know, graduate on your tombstone, So there's something, that you've done for 2 years of living hell. It's a very difficult program, although, I would do it over again, even if I had to do it over again, like meaning, I mean, I don't want to do it over again, but no, it was such a hell, hell on earth. But like if I were in 2018, knowing what I know now, I would still go through it. Um, I'm now a registered nurse in Virginia, multi-state license. I can practice in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Florida, West Virginia, Maryland, a lot of different places I could practice as a nurse with my Virginia multi-state RN license. And I have license from BC, a separate, different BC RN license, registered nurse license. And I have a clinical nurse leader national certification that covers all 50 states and all the U.S. territories and all the U.S. military bases. And so, 2 years of a master's program at Georgetown has been very rewarding professionally. So I highly recommend it if you're thinking about doing a program in nursing and you have a bachelor's degree and you live in Virginia's 8th district or 10th district or 11th district. You could commute from home, save tens of thousands of dollars in apartment costs and food just by living at home. Just pay the tuition. So it's definitely something worth considering. Um, yeah, so I'm happy I did Georgetown's clinical nurse leader master's program. Georgetown is a famous university; it's considered #1 Catholic university in the world. Although Notre Dame says they're #1, I still think Georgetown is #1. But if Amy Coney Barrett gets confirmed as U.S. Supreme Court Justice, Notre Dame University will go up globally. Certainly, Notre Dame Law School will go up like by several notches, maybe be in the top tier with Harvard Law School and Yale Law School. So for Notre Dame University, it's a historic moment. If Amy Coney Barrett can get confirmed, I mean, their applications are going to go up tremendously. Because Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress, that's who I am, went to Georgetown University for master's degree in clinical nurse leader. Now the applications for Georgetown's clinical nurse leader is going up significantly. So Georgetown University benefits in significant ways because I went to Georgetown University. In the same way, Amy Coney Barrett taught at Notre Dame Law School. So if she gets confirmed the U.S. Supreme Court Justice, Notre Dame goes up significantly. And in fact, the whole state of Indiana will go up. And other colleges and universities in Indiana will benefit from that. Yeah, so yeah, today is, Emergency Nurses Day. Yeah, it's a very dangerous job, particularly in COVID-19. Chances you'll get COVID is very high. Yeah, so for kavod, more power to you in modern Hebrew. If you're an emergency room nurse. Yeah. We have like 1,000 deaths in the last 24 hours. 967 people have died from COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, as you can see. So 216,406 people have died in the United States of America so far. That's like close to 250,000 people have died so far. In what amounts to like 6 months, because basically death started significantly from March, right? But mostly April, May, June, July, August, September, and this is October, so around 6 months. That was from the tail end of the first flu season to now. And now we're at the beginning of the second flu season. And I'm predicting that minimum 3 million Americans will die from now until the end of second flu season, maybe more than that, up to 30 million people. if you have like 1,000 people dying even before the flu season, second flu season, you know far more than 1,000 will die per day during the flu season. You see what I'm saying? You may have up to 10,000 dying per day in America in just one day. We hit close like around 5,000 in April, 5,000 deaths per day. Um, so yeah, I mean, you shouldn't doubt it that we can have 10,000 deaths per day. So if you have 10,000 deaths per day for 1 month, that's 300,000 people dying. That can definitely happen. More can die than 10,000 per day. We do have 50 states. So, it could be really, really bad. And right now, Midwestern states are seeing spikes. Wisconsin hit their record. Indiana State hit their record. Ohio hit their record. Illinois is hitting their record. Minnesota is hitting their record. Utah is hitting their record. All these states, especially in the Midwestern areas, are hitting records. And they're going to hit record deaths as well, unfortunately. And that's coming. Remember, we have 6 months to go for flu season, 6 more months. We're just beginning. And we have 1,000 deaths per day. So, yeah, I think when I say there can be more than 3 million people dying, I don't think I'm over exaggerating. I think I'm under exaggerating because we have 1,000 people dying per day now. We have 1,000 people per day dying in August. This is a 365 days a year virus, and we're going to keep up this average of 1,000 plus dying per day every year for the next 10 to 20, 30 years. Nobody's saying that this is going to go away because now they're realizing it's a 365 days a year. It's not going to go away. Experts who are serious researchers are no longer saying that it's going to go away. Because AIDS virus, HIV virus has been around for decades. It hasn't gone away. Hepatitis C virus has been around for decades. It's not going away. They both continue to kill hundreds of thousands per year. There's no reason to believe that COVID-19 will go away. It's a 365 days a year virus. It continues to infect, spread. How is it going to go away? It lives through infected people. Photo that you see in front of you from Israel. My photo with my best friend Serge Gourdman. He's a French citizen who immigrated to Israel and married a Israeli girl and settled down in Bat Yam. That's his mother and his sister and father right below me. A very beautiful family, right? His sister is amazingly pretty, right? Mother is attractive. She gets her look from her mother. And next to that, you see a photo of me, Yuval Ben Bassad, who's an Israeli living in Bat Yam, who we became friends with, and Serge Gourdman, with Yuval Ben Bassad's family to the right and Serge Gourdman's family to the left. There's a photo of me with Yuval Ben Bassad at his home, and Serge Gourdman with Yuval Ben Bassad. His parents immigrated from Bulgaria. So they immigrated to Israel, but Yuval was born in Israel, so he's called Sabra. Serge Gourdman's children are Sabras because they're born in Israel, but he's immigrating from France. And then next to that, you have a photo of Serge Gourdman with his mother. And next to that is the crucifix. At Georgetown University, every classroom has a crucifix, which is great. That's what I love about Georgetown. I'm sure it's like that at Notre Dame University as well. I really like that. And next to that is Kim Davis, my hero in America, for standing with the Holy Bible and as a Christian and being willing to get arrested to oppose U.S. federal laws that are against the Holy Bible. It's very respected and respectable. We need courage like that among Christians in America. I have a top 5 COVID-19 cases list from Africa. Number 1 is South Africa. And they have 694,537 cases, dying at 3%. So they have 18,028 deaths so far. So it's high for Africa. And obviously South Africa had less than 1,000 deaths a few months ago, so it's seeing an uptick in deaths. So it's not good. But compared to America and Europe and Latin America, it's like peanuts, right? In India, we know that COVID-19 can spread like wildfire because Brazil has over 100,000 deaths. Mexico has tremendous number of deaths. India has over 100,000 deaths. So we know you can get COVID in heat in the summer. Temperature doesn't kill it. It might have adapted to survive in the heat. It's a pretty versatile virus, and it's constantly mutating to adapt to its environment and to infect as many people as possible, which is disturbing. If you're the prey, the human beings are the prey, right? The predator is COVID-19 and we're the prey. Morocco is number 2 with 160,333 cases, dying at 2% rate. But because the rate of infection is low, the death rate is relatively low, 2,726. Egypt has 104,787 cases, but their death rate is 6% higher than Morocco, so they have more death than Morocco, 6,071. So the rate of death matters when you're counting death rates of your citizens. Ethiopia has 86,430 cases, 2% death rate. The cases are low, so deaths is at 1,312, which is close to what we have in one day. Ethiopia had since November 2019 till now. Nigeria, it's a big country, like 100 million people. And they only have 60,655 cases, and they have 1,116 deaths total so far since November 2019 to now. So you can see how serious America's situation is just by looking at the figures in Africa. America is having high infection rates. As you can see, infection rates are like what? 80,000 people get infected in 24 hours. And 1,000 people have died. And the new infections will end up in death, right? And the death rate is not going to be 3% in winter. It's going to go up to 10%, 15%, 20%. So far more people are going to die in winter in the US. So it's a shame that so many people are getting infected in the United States, and it's a serious problem. Who knows if the United States will survive by June 2021? We don't know. If we have 30 million Americans dying and domino effects of that significantly high number of deaths, our nation may fall. Our economy may collapse. You may lose all of your retirement fund in stocks. Stock market may crash in a major way. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, but we know a lot of deaths are coming. But obviously, with death of citizens, you're going to have stock market that can crash. If stock market crashes, you can lose all your investment, all your retirement fund. You could lose like 100% of your retirement that's in stocks. Yeah, Europe is beginning to see a sharp spike in COVID-19 cases. And France is a country that I like to look at for this show. There are a lot of countries. Obviously, COVID is spiking in England. They're breaking records in England. They're breaking records in Netherlands. A lot of European countries are breaking records now. They have 6 months of flu season to go. So I like to talk about other countries too, but today we'll focus on France. And you're listening to French music in the background. French love songs. When you think of Eiffel Tower, you think about love. You know, and when you think about Nice, the beach in France, you know, there was a movie called It Happened in Nice, I think, or was it It Happened in Cannes? But Nice has cobblestones instead of sand. You know, it's really nice to go swimming there in Nice in the summer. People are nice. Women are very beautiful. And you know, France is a special place, you know, in the summertime, but it's a special place in the fall and the winter time as well. It's romantic 365 days a year. Food is amazing, especially croissant, and other types of you know, pastries are amazing. They make bread every day. It's amazing. Their dishes are amazing. Their cream sauces are amazing. Everything is amazingly good. Um, and they say, wait a man's heart is through his stomach. So when you have a lot of good food in France, people, men, they fall more easily in love, I guess. Good food makes difference. Um, yeah, so I have two articles from France from today that you should be aware of because you should know what's going on around the world. Because I'm predicting that around 100 million people will die from COVID-19 by June 2021. There's 6 months of flu season, and we have a lot of continents, we have a lot of countries. COVID-19 is proliferating in every country. Some countries much more than others, like India, Brazil, they're in serious trouble. Um, Mexico is in serious trouble. But now, European countries are joining Mexico, Brazil, India in spiking, exploding COVID-19 cases. So my question is, will over 1,000 French citizens die by June 2021? And the articles that we're looking at, the first one is COVID-19. Macron announces 4-week curfew in Paris. Hi, Paris. Yeah. Region and other cities starting Saturday. That's this week, Saturday. Today's Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, starting Saturday. So 3 days from now, um, Paris is going to have a curfew that's enforced by the police. And you can't be out in the streets at night unless it's an emergency. Um, and this is an article from French 24 by staff. It's like me, a Virginia Hospital staff, a Virginia Hospital Center. I'm a staff nurse, registered nurse at Virginia Hospital Center. So, you come to Virginia Hospital Center, the staff nurses will take care of you. I could be one of the persons taking care of you. So if you feel shortness of breath, or if you feel chest pain, or if you see blood in your stool, like when you poop and you see blood there, just come to the emergency room at Virginia Hospital Center. Maybe I'll take care of you. I'll be one of the nurses taking care of you. So staff, um, the significant quote. Nice, huh? Thanks, Luxon. Some of you will not experience love if you die in this flu season. Some of you will lose your love by dying, or some of you will lose your love to death, COVID-19 death. So your wife could die from COVID-19 death, your fiance could die from COVID-19, your girlfriend who you're planning to propose to on Christmas Day on 2020 may die by Thanksgiving. That's why you should probably not go to a Halloween party with your fiance. I mean, if you want to spend the rest of your lives together, avoiding COVID-19 death is probably a priority, right? I mean, geez, you could celebrate Halloween for the rest of your lives together. You don't have to celebrate in 2020. There's no vaccine, there's no cure. COVID-19 exploding everywhere. 1,000 American citizens are dying every day. Why would you go to Halloween parties and risk the beautiful thing you have? I mean, if your fiance dies, I mean, can you find a replacement? You know what I'm saying? She's irreplaceable. She's the one you want to marry. Yes, I mean, you can still have a nice romantic dinner at home or whatever, you have to do things to protect your love, and you hear French love songs. How tragic will it be if you lose your love, whether it's your wife or your fiance or your girlfriend, to COVID-19? People who live to 100 may die at 60 because of COVID. You're gonna lose like 40 years of your life. And all the grandchildren you could have seen growing up, maybe even getting married, now you're gonna miss out on it. John McCain's mother died like at 108, like last week, or was it this week? John McCain died before his mother, but like if you live like to be 100, you're gonna see a lot more. Experience far more love. So you know, so this is the significant quote from the first article. The curfew will take effect from Saturday and will run daily from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. the following morning. So that includes the weekends, like Friday nights, Saturday nights. They're giving the French people one more Friday night, but it starts on Saturday. Macron said in an interview broadcast for national television, it's a good decision. I think Macron is doing the right thing. He should probably shut down hotspot cities. But this is a good first step, because a lot of people get infected during the weekend, right? Because you're partying, you're hooking up, weekends, people have free time, so they go out to dinner with their dates, new people that they meet, that they ask out on dates. And global pandemic makes women more open to things, so a lot of men are taking advantage of that. In France, obviously, French men are kind of slick, but men are taking advantage of that in every city in America. They know that global pandemic is scary, and the women don't want to be alone, especially during weekends. So like a lot of guys are like swooping in, and women, because of COVID-19, are like kind of giving in much more easily than they would in a non-COVID-19 time. So a lot of guys are happy. But obviously you should have premarital sex. I mean, Bible says you should get married and have sex, but guys are always trying to score with women. That's been like that from the beginning of time, right? And I mean, how many guys will not have sex if the woman says yes? You know what I'm saying? Um, guys, guys, they don't really, they'll risk a lot for sex. Guys risk death for sex all the time, even in non-COVID-19 era. They do crazy stuff for women, just to get sex, to get them into bed. So it's not like guys are gonna stop having sex if the girl wants to have sex with COVID-19, even if he knows he's gonna get COVID. That's just the way guys are. Guys don't think with their brains. They think with their other organs when it comes to love and especially sex. So you're not gonna have men refusing to have sex with women because of COVID-19. It's just 99% of the men will have sex with a beautiful woman. They don't care what kind of dangers they're on. That's just the way guys are. So just by imposing a curfew in Paris, you're probably saving a lot of women's lives and men's lives, because there are moments of weakness, that if you overcome, you may not give into sex, and that happens mostly in night times, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, during the day, I mean, it's like bright outside and everything. So, women are stronger, and guys feel a little awkward, about making the play to get the woman into bed, And people are working during the week. And during the weekend, it's you go out to have fun. So if you guys are curfew at nighttime, it's more difficult, right? The curfew starts 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and Europeans have dinner late. Generally, they have dinner like starting at 9 p.m. So that means like you can't really go out for dinner in Europe because they have dinner much later. Like in America, we have dinner at 5 p.m., but in Europe, they have dinner like at 9 p.m. Um, so yeah, so I mean, it'll probably significantly reduce COVID-19 infections in Paris and other French cities. So Macron is doing the smart thing to reduce deaths. Because as I said, men are gonna risk COVID-19 to have sex, and men are like trying to have sex with women every weekend, right? That's some men think that's what weekends are for. Um, yeah, so the curfew will remain in force for 4 weeks. Obviously, they want to see if it could reduce the, the spread significantly. It will reduce the spread significantly at those times. But remember, even during the day, COVID-19 is spreading just by people talking to each other. So it's, and during flu season, the rate of infection will go up, not just during the night, but during the day as well. So, yeah, let's see what happens in 4 weeks. But, we're in flu season by then. And, yeah, I mean, it's going to be bad. Uh, quote, we have to act. We need to put a break on the spread of the virus, end of quote. President Emmanuel Macron to public television of the shutdown, which will be enforced for up to 6 weeks. Probably, Europe will have to enter, months of shutdown. Because eventually, when thousands of people start dying every day, what are you going to do? Just keep everything open? Well, America's keeping things open when there are 1,000 people dying every day. That's why 1,000 people continue to die every day. Yeah, which is a problem, especially in New York. Governor Cuomo, Democratic governor, and mayor of New York, de Blasio, Democrat as well. I mean, New York is headed for like over 1 million deaths by June. It's horrific. And they're going to get reinfected. Those who had COVID in April, they're going to get reinfected, and some of them are going to die. Yeah, it's going to be horrific in New York. Yeah, I mean, if New York Governor Cuomo had the guts that Macron had, if Mayor de Blasio, the Democrat mayor of New York, has the guts that Macron has, I mean, they would significantly reduce the death in New York. But you kind of need guts to shut down the city, especially like in a place like France, where they take it for granted that you just weekends and evenings are for fun. It's not easy, but he's doing it, right? It takes courage. Um, Alongside Paris, major cities like Lyon, Mediterranean port Marseille, and southwestern Toulouse will also impose curfews, meaning that around 20 million people will be affected out of a total population of some 67 million. So 1/3 of France is going to shut down from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Uh, mostly in cities. Cities are the dangerous places, right? They're the most dangerous places for COVID-19 spread. Um, if you haven't seen the musical Les Miserables, I would encourage you to see it. There are videos of it. You could download and see from Amazon Prime or Netflix. The musical has been made into a movie. It's very good. Second article is all eyes on Macron as hospital chief warns of ICU saturation due to COVID-19 surge. That's from today as well. Also in France 24. The significant quote from that is, as Europe experiences a sharp increase in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations are also rising in several countries, sparking concerns over public health capacities as the winter approaches. In the greater Paris area, a coronavirus hotspot, Martin Hirsch, the head of Public Hospital Group, APHP, warned that 90% of the region's intensive care beds, ICU beds, could be filled by the end of next week. In 1 week, 90% of the ICU beds can be filled. And Paris has 6 more months of flu season to go. Do you see why over 1 million French people can easily die? In the next 6 months, maybe millions will die. We have 6 more months to go. And ICU beds are disappearing. 90% will be filled in 1 week. And we have 6 more months to go. That's 1 more month, 2 more months, 3 more months, 4 more months, 5 more months, and you need another finger, 6 more months. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be bad, you know. Harry the Owl is really worried about what's coming. Very, very worried. Yeah, a lot of deaths are coming. So the city of love, Paris, which used to be smiling with love, is no longer smiling that much, you know. And and Ducky looks kind of sad, doesn't she? You know, she's in Christmas gear, but I don't know. She looks a little bit sad, you know, listening to update on Paris. Ducky looks kind of sad. And Leo, the lion, just looks shocked. Look how big his eyes are. I mean, he can't comprehend it. You know, he's the king of the jungle, but I mean, he can't control the virus. It's feeling hopeless, right? If we want a 5, if we want a 5 when less people die, we need to shut down. Governor Cuomo in New York needs to shut down. Democratic mayor of New York needs to shut the city down if he doesn't want to have over 1 million deaths. It can't be avoided. We have 6 more months of flu season to go. You have to flatten the curve, and its curve is exponentially growing in New York. So it's like Paris. You know, Paris is shutting down because they're smart. You know, New York should be shutting down too. And we have Halloween coming. And geez, can you imagine how much COVID-19 will explode after Halloween? Yeah, every mayor will be suffering from that. Every governor, you know, you just shut the city down now before it becomes uncontrollable. What are you going to do when it gets out of hand and you can't control it anymore? Where all the ICU beds fill up in a matter of weeks in New York. What are you going to do? You have 6 more months to go. Mayor de Blasio, what are you going to do? 6 more months. What's your plan? What's your game plan? Governor Cuomo, what's your game plan? You have 6 more months to go. What are you going to do? Yeah, so it's at least President Macron in France seems to know what he's doing. You know, unfortunately, like Democratic Governor Cuomo doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Democratic Mayor de Blasio doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. Democratic Governor Ralph Northam doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing in Virginia, right? I mean, I told him to shut down all the colleges and have 100% online learning, control COVID-19, but he didn't do it. He got COVID, his wife got COVID. Now we have like 1,000 cases per day in Virginia. We have 6 more months of flu season. So we're going to have like over 100,000 people die in Virginia. You know, I'm predicting that minimum 12 nurses will die in every hospital in this area. That's my hospital, Virginia Hospital Center, will have minimum 12 RN registered nurses die. You know about Fairfax Hospital, which is like in Falls Church area, will have at least 12 nurses die, maybe more. And we're not even talking about the techs, like the CNAs, nurse assistants. We're not even talking about respiratory therapists. We're not even talking about occupational therapists. We're not talking about physical therapists. We're not talking about surgeons and doctors. We're just talking about nurses here. Alexandria Innova Hospital will have minimum 12 nurses die before Christmas. Georgetown Master Hospital will have minimum 12 nurses die before Christmas. I know the chief nursing officer kind of bragged about nobody dying the last flu season. But I mean, COVID-19 was mostly confined to New York and that area. We didn't really have that big of a spike in DC area, but it's going to be completely different this time around. So yeah, definitely 12 nurses will die at Georgetown Master Hospital, especially emergency nurses and ICU nurses. Washington Hospital Center will have minimum 12 nurses die before Christmas. Children's National Hospital will have minimum 12 nurses die before Christmas. Sibley Hospital in Baltimore, which is part of the Johns Hopkins Hospital Network, will have minimum 12 nurses die before Christmas. George Washington University Hospital, which is attached to George Washington University, will have at least 12 nurses die before Christmas. It's going to be horrific. A lot of nurses are going to die throughout the nation. And it's going to be sad because maybe some of them have not experienced true love yet, first love yet. You know, like if they just graduated from nursing school at age 20, you know, and they never had a serious boyfriend, and they're not going to ever experience their first true love. You know, and they're going to die. Some of them. They could die from stroke, from getting COVID 19. 20-year-olds are dying of stroke, getting stroke, becoming partially or fully paralyzed from COVID. So that's going to happen. If you work in a stroke unit as a nurse, you're going to see 20-year-olds, including nurses, getting stroke. Maybe, you know, the 20-year-olds who get stroke through COVID, nurses, will end up in the stroke unit, and you know, the Fairfax Hospital or Virginia Hospital Center. You know, yeah, so yeah, it's going to be devastating, you know, what's coming. Because you could die from respiratory failure, from COVID 19, you could die from kidney failure, you could die from stroke, you could die from blood clots. You know, there are many different ways to die from COVID. Doctors still don't understand fully what's going on, what the virus is, because it's so new. It takes like decades to understand something like a virus. They're so small, you know, you can't even see it with a microscope, really. So, yeah, it's going to be horrific. But France seems like it's doing the right thing, taking the right step. And I thought you'd like to know about that in case you're a mayor of a city or mayor of a town, like you're the mayor of Alexandria or mayor of Falls Church. You know, you may want to institute a ban on Halloween parties and trick or treating, maybe impose a curfew for a few weeks just to reduce the death. I mean, you know, people are going to get COVID and die. I mean, it's a way to save people's lives, a healthcare public health measure to save lives. But I don't see any of these Democrats in Arlington County Board. They're like all Democrats mostly, or Alexandria City Council. They're like all Democrats. I don't see them doing anything to save lives. It's like they don't care about COVID-19 deaths. Tom Barr is not really doing anything, right? I've been working hard to shut down Virginia State District public schools to save your children from COVID-19. But the Democrats don't know that they need to close out to save lives. They don't seem to understand that these Democrats in Virginia. It's tragic because we're going to see so many deaths. Well, I'll keep you updated. I'll bring you more important information you need to know because you may not have heard about what's going on in France, right? Because CNN is not covering it. ABC News, NBC News, CBS News, PBS are not covering it. But you need to know. You know, I don't believe in the liberal media, but you need to know the truth. You need to know what's going on around the world. Uh, we have it the worst right now out of all the countries. You need to know what other countries are doing to survive COVID-19. We will continue to be number one in COVID-19 death through the flu season. This is terrible that we're continuing to be number one in COVID-19 death in the summer, in the fall, and now heading into winter. We're going to be like number one. That's why, you know, you could probably expect 3 million plus Americans to die in the next 6 months. We're like number one in COVID-19 death. Yeah. Well, I hope you'll check in tomorrow. I'll give you some more information you need to survive COVID-19, you and your children. I hope that you and your family will be well. French love songs are so great. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.